Right,
Dedication
we
blog.
need some kind of intro. Maybe that could be the intro.
That's the intro done.
Boom!
Yes.
Dedication blog intro. Go.
So, 2,000 subscribers.
2,000.
2,000.
Oh, it's 2,100 now already.
Already?
Boom!
Oh my
Smashed
god.
it.
Right, send your question in for 3,000 subscribers.
Getting them in early.
Well, it was 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
We were very happy about it. We still are very
what
happy
we're-
about it.
That's what this is all about.
Yes.
Question
So
and answer.
we asked you on the video and on the Facebook page to send in your questions for the 2,000 subscriber special.
Yeah,
So
right.
we got quite a few questions.
A lot more questions than I was expecting. Which,
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I was saying to you before we started the other video, I was like, oh, we might only get like 2 questions. It's going to be a bit shit.
Drag it out.
Yeah, we just have to make some up. But we've got a lot.
Yeah.
So we might split this into 2 videos. So if you don't see your question being answered in this video, it's probably going to be answered in the next one. Because we're going to try and answer pretty much every one.
Yeah,
So,
we'll attempt to.
yeah.
So first question, what would you rather have, McLaren P1 or LaFerrari?
You can go first on that. Because then I can just argue with you.
Yeah, okay, right. So I do love the P1. I think technically it's fantastic, but I just Ferrari.
You just like Ferrari.
Just
don't you?
Ferrari.
Just Ferrari in general.
Yeah,
You'll bomb anything that's by Ferrari.
basically.
Yeah.
I've got a Ferrari pen.
Have you
I
really?
got a Ferrari
Have you
wallet.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Right, for me, I've not seen like any proper reviews or anything of the LaFerrari yet. I don't think there's been any because I don't think they had a press
Nothing-
car or anything, did
No.
they? So I don't really know that much about it. So I know what it looks like, I know the stats of it, but I don't think I've even seen the interior. I don't know much about it. So
At least McLaren
P1
have come out and
yeah, there's a lot more sort of documented on the McLaren.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can watch videos of it, you can see it. You know, we've seen one in real life. So I think I'd have to say P1 just purely because I know more about it, and you know, it's obviously a very good car.
You're wrong, but congratulations.
Right,
next question.
Next question.
Do you have any factory tour footage planned for the future?
No.
But I mean, we wouldn't write off maybe a trip to like the Ferrari factory or Lamborghini or something.
I thought we were talking about in Britain.
No, well, in Britain, yeah, I don't know
Like
where you
McLaren
can
or
go.
whatever in Britain.
Well, you go to Woking, can't you?
Yeah, but I don't know if you can just go turn up and be like, I want to walk around your factory.
We can.
We can. Dedication blog. Press
We'll
pass.
turn up, yeah.
Yeah,
We
like,
haven't looked at it. We haven't looked into it.
yeah, we'd love to, but we can't say it's planned because we don't
No,
have any
yeah.
plans for that at the moment. So maybe
Maybe,
not.
maybe not.
Not the best answer. Sorry. Sorry, you got such a shit answer to your question.
Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe,
try and do
maybe
better on
not.
the next one. What's the next one?
What other cars did you consider when buying the R8? How does your perfect fleet of cars and garages look like?
Well, we've got a couple of other questions, haven't we, that are like dream cars
Yeah,
and
dream,
stuff. So
so
I'll ignore that
scrap
bit
that.
for now. We will answer that in a minute.
So, what other cars did you consider when buying the R8?
Lamborghini Gallardo, and again, I think this is going to be covered in another later
Yeah,
question as well.
yeah.
But just the price mainly is what affected that, and the attention, because they're a little bit too in your face for me.
This your first supercar.
Yeah, your first kind of car like this, 25 years old, living in Grimsby. You don't really,
keep it.
well, I don't really want to be buying a Lamborghini or a Ferrari because it's just a bit too in your face, a bit too much look at me kind of thing.
And like we've said before, for that age, well, for the price, you'd have to buy an older car.
Yeah, that's the thing. And we were just chatting about this before we started the video. An R8 is so much cheaper than other supercars for the same sort of age. Like 2011 Gallardo would be like 120, 130,000, literally like double the price of this car. So, yeah, so the other cars that I considered were Lamborghini Gallardo, Ferrari 430, that was a strong contender, and the Nissan GTR. The Nissan GTR, I really don't like the interior, it just looks a bit cheap to me. Sorry to anyone who's got one. But yeah, just my personal preference, I wasn't that keen on them. So yeah, so they were the other cars I considered, but obviously the R8 was what ended up. That's kind of always been the car that I wanted in it. So I've always gone on about for years that I've always wanted an R8, so kind of stuck to that.
Stick with that.
Yeah.
What inspired you to get an R8, and why buy an R8 over something more comfortable and practical and everyday life like a BMW M5?
Because I've already got another car that's more practical and comfortable and 5 seats and everything, which is a Seat Leon Cupra.
Yeah.
So, and when I bought the M3, I was going to trade in the Cupra for the M3. Obviously, would knock a bit of money off, but in the end I decided it would be better to keep the Cupra because I bought that brand new, so selling it I'd lose so much money. So it just wasn't worth it. I'd only have made like I'd only sort of have about £3,000 left over or something. It wasn't worth getting rid of a second car that's more practical and comfortable. Because my long-term plan was to still get an R8, so I knew I'd only have 2 seats, and I didn't want to be limited to just 2 seats. You know, if you ever want to take more than one person somewhere, then it's just a pain in the ass. Well, it's impossible. so I kept the Saturday on, which is kind of like my daily driver, if you like. But
What's your dream car? Money no object. Dream car. Billionaire.
I actually don't know. I guess like a Veyron, just because it's kind of like the ultimate, super fast, ridiculously luxurious,
1,000 brake.
amazing car. Yeah. But I know there are things that are faster and stuff like that now. So I don't know. I guess a Veyron, just because it's still to me like the kind of pinnacle of the cars and speed and everything. Even though, like I say, I know there are some better alternatives.
Zonda Cinque.
You do love
Gotta be.
Zondas, don't you?
That Zonda Cinque is
do
just
love Zondas.
sound beautiful.
They do sound nice. I'll give you that. I'm just not so keen on the look.
This guy asked, can I drive the R8?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, sweet.
Just not mine. Right,
Next question. Will you be modifying the R8?
I'm gonna say no.
Blue wheels? Big spoiler?
No, I'm gonna say no. But I did find myself the other day looking at like remaps and exhausts and
Oh,
stuff,
Christ.
and even a supercharger. They're fucking expensive superchargers. Jesus Christ.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. So no, probably not. Probably not.
What list of optional extras have you got on
Shit,
the
I
Audi
forgot
R8?
to bring a piece of paper that's got a list of them all on. Off the top of my head, the carbon inserts in the inside, and you can see that I think they're called carbon Sigma inlays or something like that.
Ooh, fancy.
Magnetic ride, which I think is standard on the V10s. I'm pretty sure it is. Obviously, the spoiler that's standard on all of them.
Oh, the seats.
The seats,
Seats.
they're very expensive seats.
Yes.
The bucket seats, which I like and I don't like. I don't like because they're manual, they're not electric, which, in an expensive luxury car, you kind of, as Sai is now demonstrating,
Yeah.
you kind of expect electric
Bit of a
seats.
faff.
They are heated, so that's fine. But I think that's about it. There's stuff like the iPhone connector and stuff like that, but that's not very interesting.
Heated seats are already on it, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're all
Sat
standard.
nav, everything's all standard.
I've got a list. I'll edit in a picture of a list with all the all the options.
There or there. Or,
Yeah,
or
or
there.
just over everything.
Yeah, over our face.
Yep.
Why an R8 and not a Lamborghini or McLaren or anything else?
Kind of covered this already anyway, but just the cost. A McLaren, as much as I'd love a 12C, they're literally twice the price of this car. So just can't afford it. And the Lambo again. The Lambo Gallardos that I considered, they were like the 2008 onwards model, which again, like the cheapest one of them are like £100,000. So just can't afford it.
Price.
That's basically why.
What car do you see yourself driving in the future?
Well, I guess we can both answer this one, can't we?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. 12C I would like, but then I just
I'm
think-
guessing this is like realistically.
Yeah, like
After
not as
this.
not as in a dream car.
Yeah. After this, realistically, what car do you see yourself driving?
I don't know. I've warmed to 458s now, which you'll be pleased to hear.
Sweet.
So I would say either a 458 or a Gallardo or a 12C. I've kind of gone off the Gallardos a bit just because I think it would be a bit too similar to this, but just looks nicer. Just a bit more in your face, like I say, and a bit more old-fashioned inside, which I'm not keen on. So yeah, or a Huracan, but they're going to be too expensive, I think. So
Yeah.
So one of them probably.
One of them.
What about you?
Realistically.
What would you realistically see yourself in? It's got to be a Ferrari or something.
Probably a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah. The options are is to keep the Abarth and just carry on saving for the Ferrari, or you replace the Abarth with something in between.
Yeah.
But it's a
Then
you're
you're losing
wasting.
money, I guess.
Are you wasting money packing that? I mean, if I was to replace the Abarth engine in the meantime, it'd probably be a Boxster.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive
You're
Porsche
not a
fan,
massive Porsche fan, are you? I'm surprised at that.
but I could just see myself one day going.
I bet they are fun cars to drive.
Yeah, mid-engine and all. So that's probably if I were to get something between the Abarth and the Ferrari, then I'd probably. But yeah, fingers crossed. Just keep putting that money aside. Get 360.
360.
Right, this is
This is
this has already caused some arguments on the way down here. But do you think the future of the automotive industry are electric cars, and what do you think of the technology?
have I got to go first?
You're going first on this one.
And first of all, I'd say we're not that qualified to answer that question.
No, we
We're just car enthusiasts. We're not, we haven't done tons of research.
haven't
into
done
it.
a degree in
No.
this sort of things.
My answer, which is completely different to Sai's, is I think for all these companies, all these big car manufacturers to be doing electric cars now, there's got to be some kind of future in it. I think they've done a lot of research. They have people that their entire job is just researching stuff and kind of looking at the costs and the long-term benefits and stuff like that. I think there's got to be some future in it. Maybe not, sort of in 50 years' time. I don't think we'll all still be driving electric cars, but I think for the sort of short-term future, I think electric is kind of the way to go, and hybrid is kind of the way to go. But you completely disagree with that.
Completely disagree.
You completely disagree. So go.
Personally, I think we have to adapt or develop the current engine situation. In terms, the combustion engine can be developed further, or towards hydrogen or bioethanol, or that, rather than.
I do like the idea of hydrogen and bioethanol. I just always think like they would have caught on more if there was more of a. Like, if they were as good as people say, then why aren't we using them?
But just like it's difficult. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And so I think. I mean,
electric's easier.
Bioethanol, I believe.
Someone's going to correct you here, Jesus.
Is Switzerland or Sweden? I believe they already have it in the pumps there, and it's not taxed. Right. Where over here, there is petrol stations that have it, but it's taxed just ridiculous like petrol. No one uses it, and it's not caught on. So there's already that's sort of a way of a replacement for regular fuel.
Yeah, or electric.
That's all, but you don't see it. Like say, electric cars are popular, and companies can sell them.
Yeah, I think it is a good marketing gimmick that it's electric car, you're helping the environment or whatever. But like we were saying, I think you produce more sort of harmful stuff to the environment making an electric car.
The batteries are complex to make. You can't really dispose of them and that sort of stuff.
And obviously electricity gets made from nuclear power and stuff. So
still,
you're not probably doing as much good as you think.
Next question: how many revs do you go up to before changing gear?
This is a weird question. I don't quite know what angle that's asked from. Like, as in me personally, or like just in general when you're driving, or like in this car compared to other cars. like you go up to whatever revs suit the way you're driving. Like if you want to go fast, you go right up to the red line. Maybe not right up to the red line. Maybe I'd say the highest I ever take it is probably about 7,500 RPM, something like that.
Which the red line's on about 8.5, 9.
Yeah.
You probably won't get to 9, would you?
No, probably 8.5. Yeah. So I'd say probably about 7.5 is probably the most I normally take it to if I'm driving quick.
What is your favourite part about the R8? And now that the S-Tronic is out, would you rather have that?
I had the S-Tronic in the RS4 that I had from for the company car, courtesy car. And that was really, really smooth, and really good as like a paddle shifting system goes and a dual clutch system goes. It's better than the M3, I would say. But I think I do still like the manual, even though sometimes I cock up the gear shifts and sometimes it's annoying having to use the clutch when you're just driving slowly and stuff. I think I do still prefer the manual, just for the extra control that it gives you, really. It doesn't make me feel more involved, you just have a bit more control, like, because of the clutch. Not so much the gear stick, but the clutch, the fact that you can feed the power in and out and stuff when you're at low speed and things like that, and just, put it in neutral when you want and stuff like that. I just prefer the extra little bit of control you've got. But what was the first part of that question?
Your favourite part of the R8? What do you like the most?
Are we talking physical part, or like just favourite thing about it?
His favourite thing?
Could
be a physical thing or an emotional connection.
I really like the sound of it. I know a lot of people, especially people who've only seen him on YouTube, say, "Oh, you need a third-party exhaust or whatever, aftermarket exhaust." But I really like the sound of it, especially like that low bassy sound, like when you're at low revs and you floor it at really low revs. And even though you don't pick up speed that quickly because you're at such low revs, but the sound of the exhaust just sounds really good.
We went through the housing estate, didn't we?
Yeah, and just
echoes
off everything. Yeah. It sounds awesome. It does sound good in tunnels and stuff. But I think the look of it, probably other than the exhaust sound, that's kind of the reason I started liking them in the first place. I'd obviously never driven one, just seen them and just kind of fell in love with the way they looked. So I guess the look of it.
The look.
Would have to be
my favourite is just Quattro.
That little Quattro sticker.
Yeah. Does it stay fun to drive the R8, or does it get normal?
That was one that I thought was a good question.
Are you bored of it yet?
No, I'm not, and I get bored of things quickly.
It does, very quickly.
No, I don't feel like I've had it long enough to really answer that. Because I had the other one for, 2 months, but I didn't get to drive that a lot.
But like when you open the garage, it's still exciting to see it.
Yeah, I still like when I go to get my bike out every day to go out on my push bike. I do, every time the garage comes up and I see the R8, I do still sort of have a little smile and do things like, I'm glad I've got that, even when I'm not driving it. So yeah, it's still fun to look at and have, and it's still very fun to drive. Like, I often just go out just on my own, just drive around just for the fun of it. It's just a good fun car to drive.
Well, this one's good. Right. What cars have you owned? Car history. Here we go. Tells a lot about a man.
Yeah. Bearing in mind I get bored of things quickly, I don't think I've had any car for more than a year.
Christ.
No, I had one for 2 years actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Normally first service and that's it. Chopped it in, trade it in.
I didn't buy them all brand new. Right, you go first. What you started with a Punto, didn't you?
Started with a 1.2 Punto.
1.2 Punto. Represent.
And then after that, I had that probably for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, got the Coupe 1.6.
Coupe, which we got a video of.
Yep. And then after that, obviously, I had that for like 4 years. Loved it.
That for a long time.
And then got the Abarth nearly a year ago. So I'm sorry I've not put a video up about it. I've nearly had it a year.
We've been like, since you bought it, we've been saying we'll make like a video review and like a montage video of it. Never have.
No.
We're working on it. We got some shots for it the other day.
So that's it. 3 cars.
3 cars.
Yep.
I've had like 8, I think.
I don't ever think I've actually heard your full car history.
Right,
so this is going to be quite good.
First car,
interested.
Rover 25. Right.
Okay. No, I had a Punto.
1.4. It was 17. I was like balling.
Wow, insurance.
1.4.
Insurance.
The insurance was about £2,500, which is more than the car cost.
What?
I don't know how I afforded that because I'd only got like an apprenticeship on like 50 quid a week or something at that point. I think my parents gave me a bit towards it. But yeah, somehow I afforded that. After a year, that was pretty much fucked. So the windows fell out every time you wound them down. You couldn't put it in first gear. I'd ruined it. So I traded that in. Somehow got like £1,000 for it or something. For an MG ZS, which was, a lot of people really don't like it, but I always thought it was quite a cool.
Is that a 1.4 as well?
No, it's 1.8. When I was 18 or whatever, I didn't know an MG ZS was an old man's car, so I thought it was cool.
Bing.
It had a spoiler. So yeah, I had that.
Was it blue?
No, it was red.
No, cool.
I'll flash up some pictures. I'll edit in some pictures of each of these cars as we mention them, okay?
Oh,
so the Rover 25, the MG ZS, which I seized the engine because I forgot to put any oil in it. The oil light came on and I ignored it.
So your first car was knackered?
Second car I'd completely seized, like driving down the motorway and I had my foot like flat to the floor and it just wouldn't go any faster. I was like, what's going on? And then it just, a big puff of smoke, lots of noises and just, and yeah, the engine seized.
Dead.
So I had to just get rid of that for like 200 quid or something to a scrappy. I think after that I got an Audi A3 which I had nothing but problems with and eventually got my money back. Sound familiar? Yeah, I had that for like 3 months and it was literally just nothing but problems. Oh, when I got my money back for that, which was like £7,000 or something I think, I bought a track motorbike, a Yamaha R6 and a cheap Seat Leon, like a really old style one, which was terrible. It was like a 1.4 or 1.6 or something, and it was the slowest thing in the world. And then after that, I bought a Seat Ibiza, which I think you probably met me when I had that, did you? The yellow, yeah. Yellow Seat Ibiza FR, which I bought brand new, mainly because there was a good finance offer on it. I'd never bought a brand new car before at that point. I think it was like 14 grand or something in total, but it was a really good finance deal on it, and so I put down like 3 grand or whatever and financed the rest. And then I had that for 2 years, so that was 2 whole years I had that one for. And then I bought the Seat Leon Cupra R,
Super Cop-Out.
Super Cop-Out, as you call it, which is what I've got now. And that again I bought brand new, and again there was 0% finance on that. And then obviously after that the M3, and then after that this. So, but I've still got the Seat Leon, like I said. So that's my full car history. Why did you buy another R8? But
yeah.
Can't really answer that. I'm not allowed to say why I got rid of the other R8. Got rid is a bad word, a bad way of saying it. Why I sold the other R8 and bought this one. Next
one. What do you think about the BMW M5 E60?
You go first. It's not that we've got anything against M5s. We had a quick discussion on the way here. We're not quite sure which one the E60 is.
I don't think I could point an E60 out. I'm guessing it's the latest.
I don't think it is. Like M5s in general, I was really impressed with how fast they were when we went on the Super.
Would that be an E60 then?
Might have been. One of them might have been.
Let's assume. Right, so them E60s.
Right, we like them.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of like mod cons and technology in it, didn't they? Had like a heads-up display and all sorts. That might not be the right version. But yeah, no, I like them. Again, like the other question, I wouldn't buy one just because if I wanted something fast, I would rather have like a 2-seater sort of sports car. I know the M5 is a sports car, but yeah, rather than a big.
I think if I'd end up with a RS6 or an RS4 instead of.
I did like that RS4, yeah. But it's personal preference.
Yep, if you like it, if you like it, dedication,
get it, boom. That's the message of the day.
Right, next 2 questions. Is it your bike you can see in some of your videos? If so, what is it, and do you prefer riding than driving?
That's a good question.
And the second part is,
there's more.
do I ride as well?
Right. Si's not keen on motorbikes. You had a bad experience, didn't you, as a child?
Yeah,
Not a child.
scarred for life.
Scarred for life. You fell off a bike or something, didn't you?
It's not for me.
No, it's not.
There's certain things in life when you just know it's not for you to stay away. I stay away. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Right,
Just
fair enough.
stay away,
Fair
not
enough.
for me.
Si's
Done.
not a fan of motorbikes.
No.
Yes, it is my bike. It's a Suzuki GSXR 1000Z.
XT9 7000.
GSXR 1000Z. The Z is because it's like a limited edition, millionth edition that they did. I do like riding it a lot, but I would say I prefer driving this more. Even though the bike is faster, the bike is definitely faster. If you just like going fucking stupidly fast, get like a litre sports bike, a 1000cc sports bike. They are stupid. Every time I ride it, I honestly just giggle at how fast it is. Honestly, you put it in like third gear or something, and just pin the throttle, and you can go from about 40 miles an hour to 150, 160, like that. It is daft. I think there's one question as well about how fast have you ever driven.
Yes.
But while we're on the subject of the bike, the fastest I've ever been on anything is on the bike, and that was 186. But that's the top speed of the bike. I think they're electronically limited. On a track, of course.
On a track, on a publicly closed road.
A publicly closed road?
Privately closed.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the fastest I've ever been. But we'll do the fastest driven thing later. I think I like driving the car more, mainly because it's so much easier to just go and hop in the car whenever you fancy it, whenever the weather's nice, than it is to get your leathers on, find your gloves, get your helmet, put all the stuff on, make sure you got all your keys and that. It's just unlock the bike, get it out of the garage, shut the garage, get your gloves on. It's just such a faff sometimes that even though I really want to go out on the bike, I'm just like, I can't be asked to do all that. And it's not worth like going out just in jeans and that and coming off and killing yourself. So,
how much have you spent to get your R8, and how much is it still costing you? Maintenance, insurance, etc. How much is the finance on the current R8? Oh yeah, will you do a video on running costs?
Yes, we will. The reason I haven't done yet is because I don't feel like I've had the car long enough to give like an accurate idea of how much it costs, on a sort of weekly or monthly basis. I've not had to top up the oil yet on this one, which I'm surprised at, because the other one got through oil quite a bit. But that might have been another reason. So yeah, I will do it, but I'm just sort of, letting probably in about a month's time when I've got a better idea of how much it's costing each month to run. But what was the first part? Was
how much did you spend on the R8?
It was 73 grand, I think. Was it 73 or 74? 73 grand.
And how much is it still costing you? I presume basically there's a question about finance.
Yeah, I didn't get this one on finance, so I just paid the full 73 grand. I got the previous one on finance. I think I paid 50 or something, and then financed like 15 or whatever was left. But this one, I just bought the full. So yeah, so how much is it costing me now? I assume, like you say that, I think that's referring to finance rather than like running costs. But I will do the running cost video. Insurance, how much was it? I think 1,800 quid for insurance.
Which is similar to the M3.
Yeah, it was only like 100 or 200 quid more than the M3, which I was surprised at. But I'll explain all that in the other video.
Yeah. And then fastest you've driven.
Oh, are we on that one?
Yeah.
What's
fastest you've driven the R8?
Fastest I've driven the R8 is probably only about 140, I think. So what's fastest you've driven?
Probably 125, 130. Yeah. It's not the fastest I've been. The fastest I've driven is about 125, 130. But yeah, the fastest I've been probably about 155, 160.
What was that in or on?
That was on the Ferrari
right, on
track
the
day. Yeah.
Track day
test,
yeah.
Ferrari day.
Probably
something like that. But yeah, fast I've driven probably about 125 on a closed road on the track. Next question. When is Si going to upgrade his car?
Level up.
Level up. Yeah, this is we've not really explained it particularly well.
We've not explained this at all yet.
Not at all.
No.
But basically, my goal is to get it by the time I'm 30. I'm 26 now. And it may be a few years before that, but like we were saying, we're on slightly two different scales. Well, like two different time frames.
Yeah,
in terms of, so yeah, the idea is so, like I said, keep the Abarth, keep saving, keep putting that money away for the 360, and hopefully in a couple of years.
Yeah, obviously as soon as you can, basically, isn't it? But that's just that's kind of the aim.
There's obviously life and houses and gets in the way a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Isn't it?
So that's sort of done help. But yeah, that's what it's about. It's dedication, and it's
that's the whole.
Happen overnight.
No, that's the whole point, isn't it? Like we said before, it would have been good if we'd started this like when I was at the start of my kind of stuff as well, but we've only started it like at the point where I've already got the car, and you're still working towards it. So we've got two different kind of perspectives. So obviously stuff that Si like goes through like might be what I was doing like a couple of years ago that I've forgotten about. So you can at least get stuff from him like as he's doing it, rather than me just trying to remember stuff from a year ago or whatever that I've forgotten how I did it or whatever.
And also, people won't really want to watch us sat in like a Seat just going, well, we're going to buy a Ferrari one day. So there's like a little proof to it.
That was the thing, yeah. If it was just us just chatting, saying, oh, we've done a load of work, we'd hopefully, you know, in a year's time I'll have an R8, and in 4 years' time, whatever, you'll have a Ferrari. You know, nobody would watch that. So we did kind of wait until I got the R8 before we started doing it, because obviously that, you know, people are more interested. Because we thought like there's probably a lot of people thinking that, you know, Si's going to buy a Ferrari next week or whatever, or a GTR next week or something. But no, it's more of a long-term
plan. And the last question related to cars. What cars are you interested in? I might try to own in the future. We've just sort of done.
We've kind of done, haven't we? Yeah.
I mean, there's cars I'm interested in that I'd probably never buy.
Yeah.
There's cars you can appreciate.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of cars that I'm interested in.
But I think being able to appreciate it, and then actually, like, once you've got that cold hard cash and you're taking it to the dealership, you know, what do you put your money in? Something totally different. Is that like the GTRs? I mean, fantastic car. You can pick them up for relatively cheap.
And they're ridiculously quick.
But just sort of like the running costs, you know, they sort of kind of puts it off. I mean, 1,500 quid every 6,000 miles, every
Something
6
like
months.
That,
I mean,
it's expensive.
Yeah.
To run.
So like, love the GTR. Appreciate anyone who buys one, but like personally, with your own money, I mean, you've got to figure out what you can afford in a sense.
Yeah, it's same for me with like Aston Martins and stuff. Even though I trash them sometimes for being for old men.
It does trash them.
I just think of them as an old man's car. I don't know why, but but no, I do really appreciate them, especially like the V12 Vantage and stuff. But yeah, I can't see me buying one. So I guess that's kind of a different question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wraps up the car section.